What is up, fight fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fight Library. I'm your host, Blaine Henry, and today we are talking UFC 266. Before we get into this episode, thank you all who are here, and drop a review, drop a sub, wherever you're listening at, just drop a whatever's good. If you want to support the podcast even more, check out the Patreon, Fight Library, where you can ask questions, check out some previews. I'm working on some more exclusive content for it and all that. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and dive into UFC 266 because it was a good card. It was a very good card. So I missed most of it because I was watching Joshua music and then I had some other stuff to do. But I did manage to pick up. I watched the Dan Hooker fight. It was a real fun fight. Hooker looked good. But I really started watching Merab Dvalishvili and Marlon Moraes because that was a fun fight. So it's crazy. Marlon's this pace guy. We all know Merab's this pace guy. He always comes in and he just presses his foot on the gas, puts a brick on it and doesn't let up. And this time he started off a little bit slower. He kind of respected the power of Marlon Moraes. And that makes sense with Aljamain Sterling in his corner and Moraes dead at Sterling with the flying knee. We all remember that. That was scary. So yeah, the Merab started off slowly and the two starts exchanging, and Merab shoots and gets it to the ground, which is great. But Moraes ended up getting up. And what I noticed here was Merab, I predicted this on Twitter. I was like, man, he's covering the 1-2 for that distance. It's going to get him caught. Marlon's too good of a striker to do it. And sure enough, comes in with a 1-2, and Moraes times it with a lead hook and pours it on. And Merab survives about 30 seconds of hell. I mean, Moraes is going for the finish. And I'm like, oh man, Merab's gone. He's done. I was really pulling for Dvalishvili because he's a fun fighter and he's just like a happy guy. But he gets pushed to the fence, and Merab turns the fight away from the fence, and he gets it to the ground, and he turns him away, I should say. And then here come the hammer fist, but Keith Peterson lets it go. Lets it go, and Moraes isn't answering these shots, and he lets it go. But, he made it out the round. And then another big right for Merab, and he got the fight to the ground again to start it. And it looked like Marlon Moraes was just helpless on his back, and he's getting beat up. He just doesn't know what to do, it seemed like. Or he was dazed and he was just out of it. But anyways, Merab gets getting these two M's are kind of messing me up. So Moraes, he finds his opportunity, and Merab is kind of wailing on him, and he's not in good position, and he gets up, but he's pushed against the fence again. No, actually, he pushed against the fence. I'm sorry, he pushed Merab Dvalishvili against the fence. Merab grabs the underhook and peels Moraes off. And gets the fight to the ground, and some ground and pound later, same stuff, and he beats Marlon Moraes. So that's the big fight he was needing, and I was really happy for Merab. He's going to move up top 10 now, probably 9th, and yeah, it's the win he needed because he's a beast, and there's going to be some people that don't want to fight him. Jessica Andrade, Cynthia Calvillo. In the Rose Namajunas rematch where she beat Rose, or she lost to Rose, she had the Joe Frazier bouncing with her head moving just for the sake of bouncing. And 3 fights later, she just doesn't move her head anymore. Yeah, that didn't make sense. I think you mentioned about going back down to 115, but who knows? So, Andrade's just walking Cynthia Calvillo down, throwing bombs. And Calvillo, she's wanting to pick apart at range, but she doesn't know how. It's ridiculous. But Andrade finally hurts her at the end of round 1. Calvillo's covered up and pouring it on and gets to finish under a minute left. And yeah, good fight for Andrade. Like to see her go next. Curtis Blades and Rosenstrike. Boring fight like any Jairzinho Rosenstrike fight, but who cares? Not Rosenstrike, I'm sorry. Boring like any Curtis Blades fight, but who cares? The dude's a really good wrestler. He's ugly lead hooks. His striking's not good at all still. He's slower, he's sloppy, and Rosenstrike was looking for that thing, and Blades, he eventually in the round 1 swapped to orthodox and got the takedown. And, Blades posturing up. He's in side control, and Rosenstrike. Ooh, gosh, I'm tall. I'm tired. Rosenstrike has the arm, and he's got his right arm under the head. And I'd like to see more elbows to the body. I think that could be really beneficial and make him pay. He gets behind Yair, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, and starts hammering against the fence. But his leg's not in, so he's behind him, and Rosenstrike's on one knee. The right knee's out. And he doesn't get that hook in like Khabib does. We saw it in his last 3 fights, and I'd like to see him do that more. Round 2, he's just waiting for Jairzinho to go first, and he doesn't. Check hook, and he caught Blades, and he finds the range. Rosenstrike does, and only does it when he goes first. Blades shoots for a takedown and gets a knee landed on him, and he's hurt. Rosenstrike starts pushing forward, and Blades shoots again, gets a takedown. Round 3, Blades, he shoots the takedown again, and it's really cool. So you see Rosenstrike with this beautiful butterfly sweep. I don't know if he knew what he was doing, so gets his foot on the inside of the legs as he's on his back. And with the forward momentum that Blades is coming with, he kicks his feet in the air, and over goes Blades, and then Blades just scrambles to get back on top. And Blades wins the unanimous decision, and I couldn't be more happy for him. Guy keeps winning until he doesn't. The fight everybody was excited about, I didn't care for, to be honest, but Nick Diaz and Robbie Lawler. So Nick Diaz out for 6 years, and he's back against ruthless Robbie Lawler, who's been on hard times. So he comes out and he throws this ugly spinning back kick, taekwondo stuff, and Robbie just unloads. And then, Diaz kind of settles in and starts landing these ugly, just pit-patter shots, but he looks fat and slow. 1-2 hooks, just the typical Nick Diaz thing, and Robbie really starts working on the leg early. Nick gets a lead hook to the body that's working really well, and he does this the entire fight. Nick was paralyzing. Nick Diaz was against the fence, but he's paralyzing Robbie with the volume when Robbie can't get in there. But Robbie starts going to the body, and with the kick, he gets the kick onto the side, and Diaz does not like it. Round 3, I could tell Diaz was tired. Lawler lands a right hand and makes Nick stand up. Nick falls down, and Robbie's like, I'm not playing jiu-jitsu with you, bro. He stands up, and Nick won't get up. Broken nose, fight's over. So Robbie Lawler wins via TKO. Everybody was like, oh, it's such a good fight. And I mean, it's 2 legends fighting, yeah. It was decent. But it wasn't like this technical masterclass that everybody was expecting Nick Diaz to come in and do. He's not technical, first of all, and he's old. And you could really tell that the weight cut wasn't working for him, so he came in at 185. And, Robbie Lawler gets a win, though. He gets a win back from Nick Diaz. So what's next for Robbie? I don't know, man. Maybe another legend fight or something. Robbie was, Terror was one of my favorites, but now it's just kind of like it hurts my feelings. Title fight time. Valentina Shevchenko and Lauren Murphy. Valentina was just obviously better than Lauren this entire fight. She really mixed things up. She's faster. She's more crisp. Murphy can't win. She won't win. That was my first note. Murphy won't win. She caught a kick, and, Valentina gets out and then catches her with a hook. Val's using the kick at the end of the 1-2. I really like that. It's a really good Thai boxing combo, and you can tell, her time at Tiger Muay Thai, it's really, that's where that comes from, because it's in Phuket, Thailand, and she's 1-2, boom, leg kick, and it comes off time and everything, and, Lauren was trying to catch it and do something with it, but she couldn't. Valentina was just too good. Valentina gets a body lock. People talk about the head on choke, throw, or whatever. The body lock really did it good for here. My round 2 note says Valentina good, Murphy bad, and I kind of quit taking notes after that. But in the end, in round 4, check right finally. She was landing it all night. The check right hook, just lead hand for her, and finally hurts Murphy. She just had enough, and she leans over, and Valentina catches her with the same kick Holly Holm caught Ronda Rousey with, and it didn't quite put her down the same way. And Valentina finally, boom, 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 boom. And, fight over. Valentina TKO round 4. Main event, though, Volkanovski and Brian Ortega. Good fight. So, Volk's going to the leg early. Man, it was just, he needed to keep that up the whole fight, and he did. It kind of hurt Ortega, took power off of his shots and slowed him down. And Ortega, I said in Before Math on Rockfin, Ortega shut down, or not Ortega, Volkanovski shut down Aldo and Holloway twice. He really did a good job neutralizing their striking. And I don't see Brian Ortega doing the same, like being on that level. So that was the truth. He did look better than he did against Max Holloway. Volk is getting leg kick off the jab of Ortega, and where he's planted. We saw him do that in fights before, especially Chad Mendez, is how he kind of finished Mendez. Leg kicked while he was jabbing, and Mendez falls over, and he goes in for the kill, with a straight. Round 3 was the best round of the night, even better than Joshua and Usyk, round 12. So Ortega's reaching with the jab, and Volk just kind of kicks the lead leg from under him, and Ortega just starts reaching for the leg, but he can't quite get the takedown. There's a cool moment in the fight where Volkanovski he steps to the side, pauses, and then launches 1-2. It's like 2 spam hooks on UFC 4 and squared up. It was just pretty. I loved it. I need to gif that because it was really cool. But then Ortega knocks down Volkanovski and jumps the guillotine quick. I blinked and he was already on it. Had it cinched up. And this just goes to show you that he's great at jiu-jitsu. But man, I forgot that Volkanovski trained with Craig Jones for a little while, and I was just, how's he going to get out of this? How's he going to get it? It's over. This is over. And he gets out. So Volk scrambles, and he ends up on top. Oh, he starts beating the daylights out of him. He's not even scared of his ground game anymore. And then, he gets caught in a triangle. Gets out. More ground and pound. And at the end of round 3, Ortega's just... he's laid out. He's beat, man. He's defeated. His morale's just gone. And, he gets up, and they go into round 4. Ortega gets the body lock and pushes it to the fence and gets it to the ground. I was really impressed by that. He lets go of the grip, though, and Volk scrambled to get on top because Volkanovski was kind of on his back, or he was on Volkanovski's back, but like in the side control. I don't know what that's called. And Volkanovski just lets go, and Volkanovski scrambles and just rains punches, beating the daylights out of him. At the end of 4, Volkanovski just drops his nuts on his head and says, "Get up. I'm not playing in jiu-jitsu with you anymore." He gets up and he just starts beating some more. And at that point, I'm like, man, Ortega's just defeated, bro. His will's gone. Then Ortega brings a great fight. And, Volkanovski slowed in round 5, which is expected at the pace he was bringing. I was really worried going into this fight, though, about the COVID infection that he had and how that would reap havoc on his gas tank, because it happened with Chimaev. He wasn't the same. But yeah, so Volkanovski and Ortega are both very, very tired. Volk, about 30 seconds, looks at the clock and he survives. Ortega stunned Volk late, though, banging it out. But they gave Volkanovski virtually all the rounds. And great fight through and through. So I don't know what's next for Volkanovski. I don't want Max Holloway. There's the Cejudo fight, which I guess he kills Cejudo, though. Think about it. It'd be like Moraes round 1, but for like 4 rounds, and Cejudo would probably be like, I'm done. I'm out, bro. I'm good. Volk hits hard, and he's strong. So Brian Ortega, I don't know if his head was in the game. Seems like, pre-fight he was talking about, I partied before Max Holloway's fight. And this time I didn't party. I was going to, but Tracy Cortez told me to stop because, they're together. And it's like, bro, why do you want to party at the first night or the week of your second championship fight, It doesn't make sense. And yeah, I just don't understand Ortega. Like, it seems like he doesn't want to fight. I could see him going back to grappling, though. That'd be great. See him go to ADCC and just do his thing there. That'd be fun. He'd draw so many eyes to jiu-jitsu, but does he really want to fight Calvin Kattar, which would be the fight? Or does he really want to fight like Yair Rodriguez? Probably not. What's the point, Dude came and he beat Korean Zombie. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it. I guess we're going to call that for today. Got a good little 15 minutes in, which is usually what I aim for these cards. We'll be back. I'm going to try and preview the main event, at least for Walker Santos, which is this weekend. And I'm going to check the date on Wilder Fury. I believe it's next weekend, so that means we'll get a preview next week. So yeah, Blaine Henry TFL, which stands for the Fight Library on Twitter, Fight Library everywhere else, and of course Patreon. Check me out on Patreon. All right, guys, I'm out. Till next time.